Good afternoon everyone. I'm making this video in order to apply for professional degree of engineering in Universiteit Technisch of Eindhoven. I apologize for the pronunciation. So the aim of this video is to show you what I am capable of and just want to show you a glimpse of like what kind of candidate are you dealing when you look at my applicancy. So in here, it's my workstation. It has a lot of things. So most of this is just the retyping from the tutorial. So for example, today I did the This is the tutorial. I just retype it, and even though I retype it, I still get some errors and I try to solve it. Maybe the comma is wrong, the period is wrong, and I don't put enough arguments, or syntax can be difficult at some points. But that's the reason I'm doing that is because instead of like developing my own, why I don't just like look at multiple examples from other people. I don't need to invent new wheels, and I just see what's out there and let's see what I can make out of what's available out there in the world, and that's more fun for me. So I want to show you something that I've been working on, so you can know about my thought process. Let me close this one, and this is what I've been working on. This is the book from the Tariq Rashid. It's called Make Your Own Neural Network. So it's about how you create a model of neural network using matrix multiplication. It consists of the input nodes, hidden nodes, and output nodes. It is like dot multiplication, which each of them is like input multiple by weight and an activation function, and from that you multiply by the weight of the hidden and goes to activation function, and multiply by the weight of the output and goes to activation function, and from there whether it will converge into a result between 0 and 9, which is like the number in here. So the input node consists of 784 28 by 28 pixels in here. The pixels can be color white, which is 255 255 255 in the RGB, or black 000 in the RGB, or somewhat in between. So what did he do is he made this. Do I have this? Okay. So back to in here, so we got input nodes, hidden nodes, and output. Very simple. From input goes to hidden, hidden goes to output. And it has the weight, kind of random right now, and the learning rate is how fast the weight being adjusted after one iteration, or in this method called epoch. And then train model, so it's a dot multiplication, self-activation function, dot multiplication, self-activation function, and so on and so forth. The self-activation function is the sigmoid function. And then after that, so there are two weight in here, weight between hidden and output, and weight between input and hidden, and they are being adjusted based on the difference of the error. As a theory behind that. And then this is the query, final output. So in here, in his model, he got the 784 input with 200 hidden nodes that will give the result of 10 outputs, which is like from the number 0 until 10. Here, if this level is like for this series of the dot, and the model read that it's 7, which means it's correct, because the output is from 0 until 10. And then in the end he used the performance, so what's the prediction and what's the actual result, and he can know the performance that like this model 80% correct in reading the picture. So from that I took a data set that I already get familiar with, which is like from this one, a default of credit card clients dataset. In my GitHub, I have the analysis of machine learning using various machine learning models such as logistic regression, quadratic discriminant analysis, linear discriminant analysis, random forest, and so on and so forth. And I believe KNN is the one give the best prediction, which is around 78.9% to predict the default of credit card. I'm not really emphasizing on the result of the prediction. I'm emphasizing on like how to tweak the parameter, hyperparameter in order to get the best result. And I don't want to do it random. I'll explain about in a minute, but like let's see what I'm doing. So from that, I took his code and I tried to apply it into the CC default CSV. The CC default CSV, so it has 24 columns as the ID, limit balance, this is in Taiwanese dollar, sex, education, marriage, age, this is these three are categorical, this is numerical, and this is payment at the first month. 2 means that this person late payment for 2 months, -1 is on time, -2, I have no idea what's happening with the -2, there's no explanation for that. This is the bill amount, so he owe 3,900 and he only pay nothing and late for 2 months. So that's what's happening in here. And in the end, would this client be default or not? So that is on the last column. So from here is just like this is the data set, and I have the number of column, which is like shape of the second index, which is number 1 in here. And I have 200 hidden nodes with the output 2, which is on the default or not default. That's it. I train the model, copy of his work, and yeah, some adjustment in here. So on the left is his original code, and on the right is my code. So for his original code is like he use the input from the second column, which is like number 1 in here, index number 1, until the rest of the column. While mine, I use input from the first column until not the last. So that's why it's like blank until num of call. And since we are using the sigmoid function, it's like 1 plus 1 plus e to the power of x. And if it is 0, e to the power of -0, it will yield an error. That's why we want to add 0.01 in here, so it will avoid the error. That's what's happening there. I'm not really pay too much attention for that. I just want to make sure that my model works with some of the tweak and adjustment. And the rest are the same. And when I run my model, yeah, I ran it previously and it gave me the accuracy of 78.86%. That is not what I'm emphasizing. What I'm emphasizing is that how can I get the optimum result out of the all hyperparameter that I have in here, and I'm not shooting blindly, I'm not shooting randomly. So why do I put 200 in the hidden nodes in here? I don't know, I just put it because I put it. What happened if I put like 150? What is the optimum hidden nodes that I need to have? In here, I also have the input, hidden, and output, so it's like a 3-layer. What happened if I put input, hidden 1, hidden 2, and output? And how many of the hidden nodes do I need in order to get the optimum result? Each of the model, let's say it took me 10 seconds to run. If I have like 1,000 variations of the model, it took me 2 hours to run with only this small data set. So that is what I'm trying to learn right now. I realize I cannot get away with the data structure and algorithm. I cannot get away with the software architecture. I really want to learn that. So my improvement later in this neural network, I'm really into neural network, deep learning, and machine learning because I want to be a data scientist, can be more efficient and I don't waste my time training my model and waste the memory resources and so on and so forth. Here is the book that I'm learning right now, and it's been a lot, but I'm having fun. So out of this code, I make my adjustment, which is my adjustment is that, let me close this one. Instead of having a simple model of like input, hidden, and output, I put one hidden nodes 1 and hidden nodes 2. So this is like input, hidden nodes 1, hidden nodes 2, and then output, just to see how does it behave. So that's why we have the weight between input and hidden 1, we have the weight between the hidden 1 and hidden 2, we have the weight between hidden 2 and the output. Self-activation function is still the sigmoid, and I put ReLU in here, which is like if it is under 0, don't do anything. If it is above 0, pass the information. I don't know what happened about that. I trained the model, so it's like the dot multiplication between like weight of the input and hidden 1 against input, and go to activation function, and then the dot multiplication between like this one, the output from the dot multiplication after the self-activation, multiply by the weight 1 and weight 2, weight hidden 1 and weight hidden 2, and I did the iteration until I get the final hidden error. And from there, I updated the weight between the hidden 2 output, the updated weight between hidden 1 and hidden 2, and the updated weight between hidden 1 and input. So it's just extension of the model. My aim, after knowing 1, after knowing 2, what happens if this is n? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't know. And n, I want to do it in the for loop. I still don't know how to do that. That's why I'm learning this in order to do that. And I don't want to run 1 week of model because like my code is not efficient enough. I want to do that as efficient as possible. That's why I put on hold about this model and back to the basic, because like no one can deny to the basic. I don't want to learn how to jump without knowing how to walk. So back to the code, the query is the same, and here we got the number of column, which is like only 13. So this is CC default and ntidy. The purpose of this one is I only took the numerical variable because sex, education, and marriage are categorical. I still don't get a good understanding on how the categorical variable behave for this neural network. How should I code it? Can I just put like 0 or 1 for male and female, and 0, 1, 2, 3 for male, female, for the middle school, elementary school, and any kind of the education level? Should I code it like for the elementary, since we have 5 is 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, and for the middle school is 0, 1, 0, 0, 0? There is a word for that, I don't know, but like how should I code it? What kind of combination code that should I put? So out of those combination, I back again. I want to make an efficient code. I don't want to put a lot of time and like memory power just to run them. That's what happening in here. And minor syntax adjustment. One correct label, this is the label from the training datasets, and one network answer, so that's correct. But this one, my network answer is 1, but the correct label is 0. So my model thought that this is default, while the correct label that this person is not default. And in the end, we will get the performance. The performance for this model, I run it, is 23%. Well, it's good. At least it works. It doesn't work as I expected, but it works. It's better than not working at all. And from here, definitely I want to improve the model. I reiterate again, I don't want to shoot blindly. I want to shoot carefully. If it takes time, it takes time, but I shoot carefully and I know where I stand, rather than like, oh, I made 90% of the accuracy, and if someone asks me like, hey, can you repeat that again? It's like, I don't know how, I just put this number. How do you get this number? By luck. I don't want to rely on luck. I want to know what I am doing. That's why I learned about the matrix multiplication, I learned about the activation function, how to update the weight, and I try to code it from scratch. So this is what I have been doing, apart from other things such as like data structure algorithm. That's why, and also I've been doing a lot of the Pygame to know like how many classes do I need to have in a certain application, how many function and how to call them, and like how to iterate and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say that like open for the suggestion, and if you would like to talk to me further about what I have been doing, I already post some of my material in the GitHub, and I already explained it in my motivational statement. I believe I can contribute, and I believe I also can gain a lot from joining your program, and I'm looking forward for whatever result that you have. Regardless I get accepted or not, this is what I'll be doing, and I just found that it suits me well. Well, thank you for watching.